All right, today's final IM will be a phone call calling from Washington area code. Who's on the phone?
Yeah, hi, my name is Sam Jeweler.
I'm sorry, your
Um,
name is what?
I am, yeah, sorry, the reception is kind of bad.
Okay.
I'm one of four, I'm one of four hunger strikers. Um, we've been striking for about 100 hours.
Oh, and
Well,
you're one of the hunger strikers. And where are
um,
you guys doing this hunger strike?
why are we doing it?
Where?
We, well,
Yeah.
well, we are doing it in D.C. Right now, actually, we're sitting in Representative Hal Rogers' office. He's a representative from Kentucky. And for some strange reason, he has power over D.C., as do all other members of Congress. Um, D.C. has no voting representatives in either house of Congress, and Congress has power over D.C.'s budget and laws. It has oversight power over D.C.'s budget and laws. So we're hunger striking until those things change, because there's no reason for the 600,000 residents of D.C. to be subject to representatives elected in other states.
And
Um,
and so and so you guys are on a hunger strike. There's four of you, and you're doing so to get proper representation for DC. And how long have you guys been engaged in this hunger strike?
so we've been on this hunger strike since Thursday afternoon,
Since Thursday afternoon.
and
And how long do you intend to
yeah,
continue it?
indefinitely until we get what we're asking for, what DC deserves. We pay federal taxes, yet we have no say in how that money is spent. We have no representation in Congress, and Congress has power over our budget and our laws, and that is against democracy. It's against what our country was founded on. So it's an urgent issue that needs extreme action. So that's what we're doing.
And what is the response? Has any of the representatives you've spoken to in Congress, have they had any type of response to you?
No, and that's why we're here today. We spoke with Eleanor Holmes Norton, who is DC's non-voting representative, and she was very supportive of us. But so far, we've not had the pleasure of meeting any voting representatives of Congress. And so we hope that will happen this week, and we're going to keep coming back until it does happen. Tomorrow, we plan to return with a lot more members of Occupy DC. And make our voices heard.
And let me ask you this: how are you doing physically? I mean, are you eating anything? Are you beginning to? I got to imagine it must be becoming increasingly difficult for you guys.
Yeah, it is. It's a challenge. It's definitely a test of the will. We're losing a lot of energy, so we're trying to stay warm and not move around too much. Luckily, we have a good support team here, and yeah, just trying not to think about food too much. But we're determined to go as long as it takes.
And tell me just something about yourself. How old are you?
I'm 23. I was born and raised in Washington, D.C., and I've always found it strange that we were subject to elected representatives from other states. And so now I'm proud to be doing something about it with fellow members of Occupy DC.
And as you were growing up in D.C., I mean, were there examples of what the implications were of not having genuine representation in Congress?
So, you know, I mean, some of the biggest effects haven't affected me personally, but they include, you know, Congress has blocked needle exchange programs for D.C. that have been proven to save lives. And that's part of the reason that D.C. has 3% HIV rate, which is triple the rate needed to be classified as an epidemic. And Congress has blocked local funding for abortion programs for low-income women, which has also put lives at risk. And thousands of people have died in combat since World War One from D.C. without having a voting representative to help decide whether or not we should be in those wars and how we should be in them.
So it's a question both of representation and that local decisions get caught up in these sort of broader national politics. That is no way to make these local decisions.
Yeah. So any laws passed in D.C. have to undergo a review period in Congress, during which time Congress has the ability to strike them out. And every year when D.C. passes the budget, it has to be approved by Congress. And D.C. is the only city in which that's the case. It doesn't really make sense that the capital of our country, which we consider to be, the leader of the free world, should have this utter lack of democracy.
Well, listen, we appreciate your calling in. We appreciate what you're doing. Is there any place where people can follow you on Twitter or Facebook to get more information to show their solidarity with you?
Yeah, definitely. You can follow us on Twitter at Occupy the Vote DC.
Occupy the Vote DC.
We're all Occupy the Vote DC. And we're all tweeting from our personal accounts, which you can see on that Twitter account. And we also encourage people to read our declaration, which includes our list of demands. And that's at occupythevotedc.tumblr.com.
occupythevotedc.tumblr.com. We will link to both the Twitter feed and the Tumblr site at majority.fm. Really appreciate what you're doing and really appreciate your calling in and letting us know.
Great. And one more thing. So right now we are sitting in Hal Rogers' office until he meets with us. And so if you think that you should meet with us, it looks like these people have just told the media to leave the office, which is obviously against the First Amendment. But if people want to support us and get Hal Rogers to meet with us, you can call his office at 202-225-4601. Again, that's 202-225-4601. And we really encourage people to do that because until we meet with Congress people, we can't get this moving.
All right.
And we will continue to go without food.
All right. Well, hang in there. I wish you all the luck in the world. You guys are really brave, and it's impressive what you're doing.
Okay. Thank you so much for having me on.
Bye-bye. The number is 202-225-4601. Representative Hal Rogers, I think he said from Kentucky. 202-225-4601. We are, as we end the show, there's absolutely no reason for those of you watching the show, listening to the show right now live, not to call in.